Okay, so I'm going to start this video by showing you guys my shooting percentages because I'm not the greatest shooter in the game. I shot just absolutely awful when the game first came out because, like everybody else, I had to learn, the new system. I had to learn the new shooting mechanics and whatnot like that in NBA 2K23. But I can show you my rec. I mean, not my rec because I primarily play rec, but I can show you my park, which hasn't reset or anything like that, and you can see how atrocious I was shooting. Right there, you see I'm shooting 45% park. I barely play park. When I do play park, I'm probably playing the no squad theater mode or whatever like that. And 9 times out of 10, I'm playing with like multiple guards that aren't even trying to look to set me up. My build is mostly a spot up build. I can show you my attributes. You can see I have an 81 ball handle, and then you can also see that I have like silver unpluckable. So you have an idea of, I'm gonna show you my playmaking badges. You have an idea of what I'm like dealing with. I can't really dribble the ball. I'm gonna get ripped if I really do try to dribble the ball and stuff like that. You see how people get ripped with gold and Hall of Fame unpluckable. So never mind bronze and silver unpluckable. But again, this was my very first build that I made. A lot of us made, our builds tailored to NBA 2K22 because silver unpluckable was super valid in NBA 2K22. But I won't go into the build and all of that stuff like that. I just want to focus on, the shooting percentages. You know what I'm saying? So, of course, like other people, I pulled up into the park with like a 77, 78 rating. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have all my badges, and I played a couple games like that. You know what I'm saying? And of course, that cost me my, percentages and stuff like that. I would think I was like shooting like 33% or 36% at one point, like just awful. I still managed to have like a decent win percent and decent field goal percentage for somebody who plays with randoms 99% of the time. Same thing with rec. I'm playing with randoms 99% of the time. Because, the schedules sometimes don't align. And then, friends come and go. They're playing 1 minute. Next minute, they, just aren't on the game and stuff like that. And I don't really actively seek out people to play. I just get on the game and play. You know what I'm saying? I've always been that way for any 2K, Call of Duty, Fortnite, like any game that I play. I've always been that person to just like, I just get on the game and play, bro. If I sat around and waited until I had a 5-man squad or a 3-man squad to play park or something like that, I would never get to play this game. Period. I would never get to play the game. I would probably have like maybe 13 games played. And why even have the game if I'm not going to play the game? Unfortunately, the randoms in this game suck. Unfortunately, they're going to sell you. You're going to lose a lot of games and stuff like that. I posted videos on this channel of, why you don't play with randoms. It was like a series I was doing in 2K22, but again, I'm rambling. I just want to show that last season I finished around a 64% from 3. This season I'm shooting at like 57, 58. I hover around 58. I've been at like 62 before this season, but of course, once again I'm playing with random, so I don't have the luxury of just being able to just spot up. A lot of times they, putting me at point guard, or a lot of times I got to move the ball because nobody else is passing a ball, as you can see by my assists and stuff like that. This build isn't really made to run point. This is a 2-guard build. You can see by the ball handle and stuff. This build was really just meant to spot up and kind of function as like a secondary ball handler. Not even really too much of that, but, but even then, again, I'm still shooting like around 58% from 3, around 93% from free throw, and like 60, 61% from the field and stuff like that. I just wanted to show you guys my stats just so you can see that while I'm not the greatest shooter, I'm a well above average shooter. There are definitely people who shoot better, 60% clip. I've seen people who shoot, like a 80% clip. Now, obviously, they don't play as many games as me. They also don't play with randoms. That's the main difference between me and those people. If I played in a full 5-man squad all the time, I probably could shoot easily like 80%. But a lot of times I'm getting the ball late. You're not getting the ball in your spot. You're waiting. You're getting the ball. You're shooting contested shots and stuff like that. So I'll also show like my badges and stuff like that really quickly. You'll see what badges I'm running. But yeah, a lot of times you aren't getting the ball in your spots that you wanted. You're getting late passes. You're getting like terrible bailout thrown passes with no bailout. So you're juggling the ball and stuff like that. But even then, this guide is going to help you excel at shooting. Period. If you follow everything in this video that I'm going to be giving you guys, like I promise you, whatever your shooting percentage is, I promise you will at least increase it by 10%. So if you're shooting 30% from three, I promise you after this video and watching my video and stuff like that, you will go up to shooting like 40% at least minimum. If you're shooting 40, you're going to go up to 50. If you're shooting 50, you're going to go up to 60. I promise you this, okay? So let's just jump right into the video. Okay, so now one of the most important things for becoming a really good shooter in NBA 2K23, okay, and this is one of the most vital things, and that's your build. Your build is one of the most important things when it comes to being a better shooter, because if you make a build that can't shoot, then lo and behold, you won't be able to shoot. Now, I'm showing you guys, this is my center build. This is my two-way stretch 5. This is actually a catfish build. Like, I'll definitely have a video on the channel showing off this build. But as you can see on the build, I balanced this build out exactly how I want it to be. The only thing I probably would have changed on this build is I probably would have added a little bit more playmaking or post control, just so I could get vice grips or whatever like that. I'm gonna show my badges really quickly. You're gonna see that I'm not gonna be able to get I'm not post playmaker. I'm not gonna be able to get vice grips on this build because I don't have a high enough post control or ball handle. That's really the only mess up on this build. So if I was to make this build again, I would make it the exact same way that I made it right now, except that I would probably put more into stamina. I would probably put my stamina to a 90, and I would probably put some post control where I could at least get bronze vice grip, because on the rebounds I do get spammed a lot. But again, that's not what this build is about, or this part of the video is about. It's about having a build that can shoot. So that's the most important thing, to being a good shooter, a better shooter, the best shooter, whatever you want to call it. You're gonna have to have a build that can shoot, and you're gonna want to build with an adequate three-point shot. Now, technically speaking, I was able to knock down shots consistently with like a 75 to 77 three ball. But here's the thing though. The thing is, the lower you go, it's not so much about the rating not being good enough, because the rating, you can knock down shots with a 73 ball. The problem with having such a low three ball though at 70 is that you won't have the jump shot, bases and the releases that you need. Now, for this build, I use a similar jump shot that I use on my guard and my small forward. The only problem is with this build is that I don't get the releases because this build is 7 feet tall. So I don't get the releases. So the Q is a little bit different for me. But as you're going to see, I'm still going to be able to, knock down shots. And I'll show you guys my 3-level score. I'll show you guys my other build later on and stuff like that, so you can see hitting a white. That's kind of crazy. But I'm just showing you, this build's kind of slow, but I'm still showing you guys that I can still knock down the shot, because one, I'm still using the same base. I'm still using the same base as my other jumper, so the timing and stuff like that is still similar, but it's just the releases are different because I'm 7 feet. I can't get guard releases and stuff like that. But as you can see, I can still knock down shots whether I'm on my shooting guard or my small forward PG builds. It doesn't really matter. I'm still going to knock down shots and stuff like that. But one of the most important things about being a really good shooter is that you're going to want to make sure that you have the ability to shoot. And I think that you're gonna want to make sure that whatever build that you come up with, you're gonna want to make sure that you have, like I said, adequate 3-point shooting. So if you feel like you're not that good of a shooter, then you might want to have to go up to a 93 ball. You know what I'm saying? If you feel like you're a in-between shooter, then you might have to go up to an 85 3 ball or whatever. You might be suffice with that. Now, on this build, I went with an 83 ball. You know what I'm saying? Now, I really wish I could have went with an 85 because then I would have access to, you know, more badges. I would have access to, you know, silver limitless range. I could really sit hash. And even on this build, I can still kind of sit hash. Like, I'm going to try to shoot from hash right now back here. You know, I can still hit from hash here and there, but it's just not as consistent as it would be if I had silver limitless range with like an 85 3 ball. You know what I'm saying? But again, like I said, you can still, you know, hit some good shots and you can still space the floor. And that's the most important thing, is about having a attribute rating where you could be consistent, because consistency is key. It doesn't matter if I can only shoot the corner 3. If I can consistently knock down that corner 3, that's all that matters, because I'm going to be keeping my man out of the paint, you know. And that's why people value shooting big so much, you know. It's like shooting bigs was such a good value in NBA 2K22 because it was like you were able to keep the big out of the paint, which means the paint was free. You could really, you know, run an offense, you know what I'm saying? So I think the most important thing is making sure that you have an adequate 3 ball for you to even be able to, you know, actually shoot threes. So for some people that might be a 75, for some people that might be an 80, that might be an 85. Only you will truly know if your build is good enough to shoot. So again, I'm showing you guys that I have an 83 ball and I have no problem shooting from hash or whatever like that. I'll shoot another shot from hash, you know what I'm saying, just to show you guys. But again, you know, I would have liked to have a higher 3, but again, like I said, this is like a catfish build. You know, when you look at the stats and stuff like that on it, this is clearly, you know, a catfish build and, like, and stuff like that or whatever with the, you know, because it tells you that I'm a two-way stretch 5, but, you know, I have a 99 block, you know, I have Hall of Fame anchor, Hall of Fame rebound chaser, Hall of Fame post lock. You know, you wouldn't think you know, two-way stretch 5 would be this good defensively, but it is a really good build defensively. You know, I'm decent enough where I could roll down in the paint and stuff like that and finish in the paint. 90 standing dunk, 70 driving with a 70 close shot. Like, this is just a really good all-around center build. I think it's one of the top, like, center builds in a game, to be honest with you. But again, like I said, you want to make sure that you have a build that can shoot. That right there is like your starting base before you do anything else. All right, now on to our second section of this guide on how to shoot better. You know, the next most important thing besides your build is you're going to want a jump shot. Okay, like this is the second most crucial part of, you know, being a better shooter or a good shooter, whatever you want to call it, is that you're going to want to have a good jump shot. You know what I'm saying? And when I say have a good jump shot, I mean, like, I don't really mean just, you know, slap together something that gives you all A's or all A pluses. I don't mean go to some YouTuber, you know, even listening to me on jump shot videos, because I do have jump shot videos that I've dropped on the channel and stuff like that. Even if you're not going to listen to me, don't listen to other YouTubers or whatever like that. What you need to do is find a jumper that works for you. Experiment. That's how these YouTubers found jump shots that work for them. They experimented. They found something that looked or felt comfortable or whatever like that, and they just moved around with that. That right there is really my best advice for finding, you know, your own personal jumper. Now, you know, you can look at my videos. I'll probably link it down below and stuff like that and show you guys, like, the jumpers that I've been using and stuff like that I think are some of the best jumpers in the game, you know. But me personally, I've always been against listening to YouTubers and streamers, because what works for them might not work for you. A jumper that works on their internet or their connection might not work with your internet or your connection. You know what I'm saying? A build that I might be able to use because I can dribble or I can shoot, you know what I'm saying, you might not be able to use. You know, you're not me and I'm not you. You might be able to shoot with a 73 ball, but I need an 80 or an 85 to shoot consistently. You know what I'm saying? And that's what a lot of people don't understand. And they kind of just watch these videos and they just immediately just try to copy and paste what some YouTuber or streamer does, or what some YouTuber or streamer tells them to do. And then they're making a build that they can't shoot on. They're bricking every shot. They're missing every dunk. They can't play good. They're getting exposed. They're getting dropped off. They're losing a lot of games because they decided to just blindly follow some streamer or YouTuber. Like, nah, you guys need to, you know, make builds that you feel comfortable playing on. You need to make jumpers that you feel comfortable shooting with. You know what I'm saying? I could tell you some good bases like let me see, just scrolling through here. Oshae Brissett is a really good base. I'm trying to think who else. Bamba is a decent base. It's not a lot of really good big bases, to be honest with you. Like most of the bases that are really good are going to be like guard bases and stuff like that, wing bases, in between bases. Trying to think. That's honestly, that's really it. Like as far as Kevin Love base, probably decent because he is a shooter. I imagine K Love's base is probably decent. Paul Millsap as well too, but I wouldn't tell you guys to use those bases because I've never really tried those bases, so I don't really want to tell you use those bases and then they're completely ass or something. But the bases that I just told you, I've definitely used Oshae Brissett when I first started. I used Bamba as well too, as well as default big, as well as default swing too. But I mean, being a big man, you probably can't get default swing base, but I used default swing base, was really good. And again, Bamba and Brissett was like the bases that I used the most, like when I first started out and stuff like that. When you're lower overall, you don't have a higher overall to get better jump shots and stuff like that. But you just really gotta experiment. You know what I'm saying? Play around with the bases, and before the only thing that really mattered was the base, but finding a really good release is important as well too, because not only is it going to change like the shot height and defensive immunity and release speed and stuff like that, but it's also going to tell you when you're supposed to release the ball, and that's very important. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of want to make sure that you're blending and using playing with the release speed and stuff like that, but also that you're paying attention to the releases that you're using, because that's what's going to determine when you release the ball, how you release the ball, and stuff like that as well too. So the jumper is super, super important. Probably just as important as having a build that can actually shoot. So keep that in mind when you do start out. And please don't make the mistake of constantly changing your jumper. That's one of the mistakes I've seen my friends make, like constantly. They're constantly switching the jumper. They have one bad game, then they switch a jumper. Then they have another bad game, then they switch their jumper. It's like, no, bro. You have to lock in. You have to give it, I would say a minimum of 5 games. 5 games is enough games of like shooting badly, shooting poorly, and you got to give 1 game to warm up and get used to the jumper. Then you got to give another 2 games for if maybe your connection isn't as good, maybe you're lagging and stuff like that. And then those last 2 games, if you still haven't gotten the hang of it by those last 2 games, then it's time to throw that jumper away. So I've always done the rule of 5. If by game 5 I'm not really putting something together, and even if it's streaky shooting, even if you're going like 4 for 7 or 5 for 10 or something like that, 5 for 9, 4 for 9, something that's not good but decent, kinda decent to average, then you can kind of be like, okay, I'm going to keep this jumper, I'm going to work at it, I'm going to build on it, it's a nice foundation and stuff like that. Now, if you're telling me every game you're shooting 1 for 5, 2 for 6, 3 for 11 and stuff like that, you're just 4 for 12 just shooting poorly, after that 5th game, then okay, it's time for you to switch your jumper. And then the next part that I want to talk about, that's just as important as your jumper, is playing with the meter on or meter off. Now, I've seen this discussion and debate multiple times across every single 2K. 2K22 was probably the first 2K that I really consistently played with meter off. 21 and 20, I went back and forth, playing with it on, playing with it off. 19, 18, 17, the meter was fine. You didn't have to take the meter off. The meter was actually pretty decent with it on. It was easy to actually green shots with meter back in those days of like LaMarcus Aldridge on quick and stuff like that, Trey Burke and Dante Exum and stuff like that, those jumpers and whatnot, those bases and stuff like that. Playing with meter on or off, it really didn't make a difference. You still gonna knock down shots, you know what I'm saying, whites and all. For this year, the thing is, I would recommend people, I've seen people ask, and I've seen people, constantly, especially on the 2K subreddit, like, yo, should I play with meter on, should I play with meter off? honestly, it's preference. I've seen people who are decent shooting with the meter on. I've seen people who are trash shooting with the meter off. I've seen people who are good with the meter off. I've seen people who are trash with the meter off. Like, it's really comes down to your preference. You know what I'm saying? As far as my preference, I was shooting with meter on in the beginning of the year just because 2K Labs, shout out to 2K Labs. 2K Labs did a test and they found out that like the boost that you get for shooting with no meter is so minuscule that it really doesn't make a difference whether you shoot with meter on or off. The real reason why I shoot with no meter, or I make the change to go no meter, is because the meter constantly jumps. One, the meter lies to you because of the lag, the latency and stuff like that, the connection and stuff. You will be shooting and releasing it full white and you will still brick a lot of shots. So you can't really depend on the meter. The meter is like the room in 1408. The meter is like, you know, some Twilight Zone shit. You can't believe it. It's lying to you. You know, and I was very adamant on using the meter once I found out that there was little no boost for shooting with no meter. And I was still shooting around 49 to 51% from three. But it was just like I wasn't shooting as good as I was. You know what I'm saying? So I went from shooting like 49-ish% from three, 48 depending on, you know, the shots I was taking in my shot selection, to shooting like 57, 58, all the way up to like 64%. So, you know, 62%. Even if you're shooting above 55, I feel like that's a good number. If you're shooting above 55%, you're well above average in this game, because I've seen the 3-point percentages that people average in this game. You know, so as far as my recommendation, I would recommend meter off. And I started to ramble and rant and stuff like that. But the reason why I went meter off is because, like I said, everything changes the meter on this game. If somebody sneezes, the meter speeds up. If somebody coughs, the meter slows down. If somebody breathes on you, the meter speeds up. If you took a dribble one time, the meter slows down. You know, if you got 3 adrenaline boosts, the meter is fast. You know, you got 1 adrenaline boost, the meter is slow. Your stamina's blinking, the meter is fucking in slow motion. You know what I'm saying? Like the Matrix. Oh, you're shooting a mid-range shot? Okay, speed it up. You're shooting a 3? Slow it down. You're shooting from Limitless? Speed it up. Like, anything you do, somebody contest you, speed it up. Like, it's just so inconsistent. There's like 16, 20 different releasing times and shit like that, and then the meter is bouncing back. It's, you know, you do a step back, it bounce back. You know what I'm saying? You do a catch and shoot shot, it bounces back for no reason. You know what I'm saying? It's just too inconsistent. And I feel like they did that purposely this year. They want people shooting with meter off. They want people learning their jump shots. They want this to kind of be more of a sim experience, even though it's not, because of the way steals and a lot of other shit is in this game. But for my recommendation, turn meter off. I promise you, you will jump at least 5%. When you learn your jump shot, you will be a better shooter with no meter on. I promise you that. I wouldn't tell you anything to make you worse at the game, because trust me, all I do is play with randoms. 99% of my games are with randoms, and if I'm playing with y'all, I don't want y'all in the wreck selling my shit, okay? Like, I'm being completely honest with y'all. I don't want y'all selling my shit, okay? So trust me when I tell you, meter off is worth it. Like I said, take the meter off, learn your jump shot, you know, and just, you know, practice, which leads me to my next point. And for our next section that we're going to be talking about is practice. Yes, I know, Allen Iverson. You know, go ahead. You could just drop the memes in the comment section. You know, practice. We talk about practice. Yes, we are talking about practice. Okay. Now, whether you are playing basketball in real life, whether you're playing basketball in a video game, you know, jump shooting, you know, takes practice. You know, the more you do something, the better you are going to be at it. You know, whether you're shooting free throws, whether you're shooting jump shots, whether you're shooting jump shot in a video game, whether you're, you know, shooting people in a video game, you're building in Fortnite, whatever it is, you know, muscle memory is key. When you do something repeatedly over and over and over again, it becomes muscle memory. It becomes second nature to you. You're able to do it in your sleep damn near, you know. Excuse me. Think of something like tying your shoes. You know what I'm saying? You have been so accustomed to tying your shoes, and you learned to tie your shoes when you were a kid. How did you learn to tie your shoes? By constantly doing. You found a method that works. You whoop, you swoop, you pull, or whatever. And your parents or your kindergarten teacher or whoever who taught you how to tie your shoes made you repeatedly tie your own shoes. And now you're at the point where you could probably tie your shoes with your eyes closed. You could probably tie your shoes with your eyes closed while hanging upside down or some shit, bro, because it's just literally muscle memory to you. Same exact thing applies to shooting in a game. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show you 2 places where you could practice. Now, most people tell you to go into the Pro-Am Arena. So I'm going to load up the Pro-Am Arena. I have created a little throwaway team just so I can go into the Pro-Am Arena and stuff like that and practice. And a lot of people, especially back when, PS4 was next gen or current gen or whatever you want to call it, old gen, whatever you want to call it, you can call it. I don't really care. But I call PS4 current gen because that's what the 2K devs call PS4. They call PS4 current gen and they call PS5 next gen, but whatever. When everybody was on current gen, they would always recommend that you practice your jumpers in the Pro-Am Arena. And I think the main reason why people told everybody to practice their jumper in the Pro-Am Arena is because when you were in the Pro-Am Arena, it's possible for other people to come in here. And because it's possible for other people to come in here, you're able to get like that latency that you get when you share the court with somebody in like a 3v3, a 1-on-1, a 2v2 or whatever like that. So because of that, they always tell people, hey, come into this Pro-Am Arena and practice your jump shot, get some shots up before you go online or whatever like that. Now, I used to do this in older 2Ks, 2K22, 2K21 and stuff like that. And the main reason why I stopped doing this is because like you obviously have to go and pick up and get the ball yourself or whatever like that, and that can be really annoying to have to sit there and come and get the ball or whatever like that myself. So I personally don't come in the Pro-Am Arena, but if you want, you can come into the Pro-Am Arena and practice your jump shots like you see me doing right here or whatever like that. Now, here's the thing. Now, the other place that you can go, like I said, the main reason why I don't like doing this is because I gotta go and get my own rebound. And that can be time consuming. That could take away the amount of time that you have taking shots. Like instead of me being able to take like, I don't know, like 100 shots before I go online and play a game, now I'm taking like maybe 50 shots or like 40 shots because now I have to run and get my rebound, then come back to the 3-point line, shoot, then run over here, get my rebound again, then go back to the 3-point line. That's going to take some of your time out. And you're not going to want to keep doing that. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to want to keep doing that. And another reason why I don't like practicing in here is because it's going to take your rhythm out. You see how I have to like move and move out of my spot and stuff like that. So like I shoot that shot, I green. So instead of me still being in rhythm and just sitting right here ready for the next shot, I now have to move out of my spot, get the ball. I'm probably not going to get back to the same spot that I was at or whatever like that, and then now I'm going to have to shoot the jump shot again or whatever like that. So that's one of the main reasons why I don't practice in the Pro-Am Arena. Now, where you can go as well is you can go into the My Court setting. Now, the reason why a lot of people say don't go to My Court is because they consider My Court offline. You can invite people online in here, so I don't really know why that's the the main reason why people say don't do it, because you can invite your friends to the My Court and you can get like latency and stuff like that with your friends being in here. But I think for the most part it's like a offline setting and stuff like that, and I think it goes based on your settings that you have in your game. So I'm gonna up the setting to Superstar really quickly. Don't want to go to Hall of Fame because I don't think online is Hall of Fame settings, but it's somewhere in between. So I'm gonna just go up to Superstar. But the main reason why I like coming into the My Court setting is because you can use the ball machine to shoot your jump shot, so you don't even have to rebound your shot and stuff. The only thing that I don't like about the My Court setting, even with the ball machine, is that you can't like hold L2 and spot up. You kind of just move around freely. I'm going to show you guys in a second exactly what I mean. But this is where I come to practice. You know what I'm saying? Every time before I get on the game, I come in here and I try to shoot like 20, jumpers. Sometimes I shoot 10. You know what I'm saying? If I'm on, but I try to shoot like maybe 20 jumpers. I'll try to shoot like 20 in the left corner, 20 left wing, 20 at the top of the key, 20 right wing, and then of course 20 right corner or whatever like that. And not just 20 shots, but 20 greens if I can. Sometimes I'll just do 10 greens if I feel like, yo, I'm on and I don't really need it. But you're going to see I'm going to shoot this shot or whatever like that. I'm going to hit the shot, and you're going to see that it moves me around. You know what I'm saying? And then when I call for the ball, like, I'm not in the right exact angle, but it's as close as I'm going to get to, like, just being able to just automatically shoot shots without moving out my spot. Now, obviously, you see I'm not going to be in my spot immediately. You know what I'm saying? But it's still the best that it's the best option that you have on current gen for, like, you know, shooting. You can go to the team practice facility, but like, there's constantly people there and stuff like that. So that's the main reason why I don't go to the team practice facility. I just come in here, put it on superstar difficulty, you know what I'm saying, green my shots or whatever like that. Once I hit about 10 greens on this left side or whatever like that, I think I'm at like 5 or 6 right now. Once I hit about, you know, a couple greens on here, maybe 10 greens. Sometimes, like I said, I'll do 15, 20. Sometimes I'll lose track or whatever, you know. So sometimes I'm not doing exactly 20 shots, but it just becomes muscle memory. And then once you get that muscle memory of knowing your shot or whatever, when to release it, you just become automatic. You know what I'm saying? Like, now, obviously, you're going to have to incorporate this with, like, moving around the court, coming around screens and stuff like that. But I feel like if you can at least get the muscle memory of when you're supposed to release your shot, you know, you can be deadly. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you are using certain badges and stuff like that. Now, that's a mid-range shot. That doesn't count. But this is what I'm referring to when I say, you know, practice. You know, because practice makes perfect. You know, when I first started playing this game, I wasn't really doing this. I wasn't really coming in here and practicing my jump shot and stuff like that. And I don't think most people who get on the game even practice their jump shot. Some of the best players, they'll tell you that they come in here and they shoot jumpers and stuff like that. They warm up. They might do some dribbling drills or whatever like that against the CPU and stuff like that. But a lot of players that play this game, I know a lot of people don't have the time to put in to really grind the game. But it's like, me personally, I want to be the absolute best that I could be at something. Like, I don't want to waste my time playing this game for like 150 hours, 200 hours to be mediocre as fuck at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially if this is the main game you play. I feel like if you mainly play, you know, 2K, then you should be putting in the time to at least, like, really be good at it. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Call of Duty. You should at least be putting in the time to at least be good at it. You know what I'm saying? So now I'm kind of missing shots. I'm out of rhythm and stuff like that. But then you just move over here, you know what I'm saying? And then start focusing on, you know, shooting at the top of the key. Now, top of the key is probably like my worst spot because it's a little bit harder for me to see my release, even though I'm knocking down these shots right now at the top of the key. But it's a little bit harder for me to see my release. I kind of gravitate to like the left sides and the right sides of the courts and stuff like that because it's just a little bit easier to see your release. You know what I'm saying? But this is what I'm referring to when I say just practice. You know what I'm saying? Just come in here. It'll take you like maybe 30 minutes. So like the you know, the cost of like playing, maybe if you play rec, this is like probably like the cost of one rec game. So instead of you playing 5 rec games tonight, you'll play 4. But you know what? This right here will get you ready where you cannot be lights out, you know what I'm saying, in those 4 rec games, you know what I'm saying, because your shot is going to be on point. You know, the releasing is not going to change, you know what I'm saying. The release queue online isn't going to change. So like, yeah, you're going to deal with latency and lag and stuff like that, but the thing is, if you know your release queue, when you're supposed to let the ball go and stuff like that, this isn't going to change when you go online. Like, where I'm releasing the ball at isn't changing at all. So whether I'm online, whether I'm on Wi-Fi, whether I'm, you know, wired, whether I'm playing 2v2, 3v3, where I'm releasing the ball at isn't going to change at all. I'm going to be releasing that ball at the same time every single time. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say, hey, come here and just get the muscle memory of when you release the ball. You know, that is the reason why so many, you know, when you see like really the best shooters, all the best shooters are, you know, they have that muscle memory of when they're supposed to release the ball and stuff like that. So, again, you want to practice. Now, there are some people who can practice their jumper in-game. You know what I'm saying? But me, I don't want to, you know, just completely ruin my shooting stats, even though my stats aren't that great or whatever like that. I don't want to completely crucify my stats and stuff like that and be, you know, shooting like 49% or something like that. So, you know, I will, you know, practice my jumper offline. You know, if you, and then even when you get your jumper down pack or you're trying out a new jumper or something like that, you can always, you know, go into an NBA game you know, if you want to play a game where you're like, you know, game speed with people on the floor and stuff like that. Because like I said, again, it's easy as hell to, you know, shoot these jumpers when there's nobody here. Just like in real life, it's easy to knock down a free throw when there's, you know, you're in an empty gym, there's no people, there's no distractions and stuff. It gets a little bit harder when there's people on the floor and, you know, people screaming and yelling and stuff like that. So it's a lot different. But I feel like, you know, again, it's just a video game, but at the same time, you want to put in that practice so you can at least, you know, get good at the game and stuff like that, and at least know your jump shot or whatever, you know. I think practice is definitely key, and I'm not telling you to spend 4 hours, you know what I'm saying, warming up or practicing, but you know you're going to get on, you know you're about to play for the next 4 hours or 3 hours. It's a Saturday or a Sunday, you got all day to play, you know, it's Friday night, you're not doing anything or whatever. Yo, hop into my court, practice your jumper, you know, maybe go around. You know what you can do? You can make a game out of it. You know, kind of just hit a shot in every corner, you know. Hit the left corner, knock down a shot, come to the wing, knock down a shot. You know, play around the world or something, you know, to make it fun and, like, you know, interesting. And it's not just work, you know what I mean? It becomes like a game. Oh, I missed a shot, I'll, you know, give a retry or whatever. If I miss again, all right, I'll start all the way over. You know, and try to make your way around the court, you know, and then back around, reverse, you know what I'm saying, back to this way. And, you know, it's just a way to make practice and stuff like that interesting, you know. So I think this is one of the most important parts, because all practice is going to do, like I said before, is just build that muscle memory where, you know, the same way you tied your shoes over and over and over again to the point where tying your shoes is muscle memory, you know. Like riding a bicycle, how riding a bicycle is just muscle memory. You did it, you fell to the point where you got it and you learned how to do it. And like how people say, you never forget how to ride a bike, you know. You never really forget how to tie your shoes either, you know. It's just that muscle memory is instilled in you. So yeah, you know, practice is definitely one of the most important parts into becoming like a really good shooter. And like I said, it doesn't just have to be in a my court or pro-am arena. You can go in NBA games and learn your jump shot and stuff like that, which is even better because, like I said, you're going to be in game speed with bodies on the floor, people that can contest your shot and affect your jumper and stuff like that. So if you want to go into the NBA game on Superstar, All-Star, whatever difficulty, and just get used to coming off of screens and moving around people and stuff like that, that will work as well too. Okay, now our fourth section to how to become a better shooter in this guide is shot selection. Now, shot selection is very important as well when it comes to being a good shooter. I mean, I see so many people complain about how hard shooting is in this game, but a lot of these people aren't taking good shots, and that's just the fact. I know there's a lot of reasons why shooting is a little tiny bit more difficult this year, but you know, I see an influx of people saying that, but then I see the shots that these randoms are taking. You know, people are taking contested shots. They're trying to shoot moving fades, and those shots aren't always the best shots. You know, those shots are least likely to fall rather than open shots, stand still, catch and shoot shots. You know, yes, I know it looks dope to shoot fades and leaners and hop shots and step back jumpers and spin jumpers, you know, for clips and mixtapes and montages and stuff like that. But keep in mind that majority of players who attempt those shots, be it like in real life or just in the game, they're doing so because it's the most effective shot in that, like, that situation. You know what I'm saying? That scenario, that step back jumper is what he needed to do in order to get space to get his shot off for a non-contested shot. You also need to keep in mind that shot timing for fades, hop shots, step backs, post fades, spin shots, and all that stuff are different from your normal jump shot animations. And you will need to release it earlier or later. You're going to have to hold it longer and stuff like that, depending on the jump shot and the animation that you're using. So, you know, that kind of throws more release timings in the mixture that you could potentially mess up. You know what I'm saying? And then another part that I like to talk about is, you know, picking your spots. Now, what I mean by picking your spots is like wherever your sweet spot is that you like to shoot from, being able to get to that spot so you can get your shot. You know, that's a very underrated aspect of being a really good shooter and scorer in NBA 2K or just in general in basketball, like overall, you know, the ability to get to your spots. Really good scorers, you know, they can always get to their favorite spots. You look at like the best scorers of all time. You're looking at Carmelo Anthony, you know, Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant, Michael Jordan, KD, Steph Curry, LeBron James. You know, some of the best shooters, Ray Allen, Reggie Miller. You know what I'm saying? They all have one thing in common, and that is that they could get to their spot. Now, I personally prefer to shoot from the wing or the hash because I play on a 2K camera angle, and those spots give me the clearest view of my jumper and the release. You know, so just based on that angle, I can tell if I'm going to miss when I release my shot, because I can tell when I release it's either early or it's late or something like that. Now, I tend to go corner, you know, on fast breaks because corner shot is the shortest shot from three, and therefore is one of the easiest shots to make. Now, I also go corner not just to space the floor when we're running the fast break, but also because most of the time on fast break, there's usually nobody on the wing or hash, which means 99% of the time in those scenarios, I'm going to have an unobstructed view of my jump shot because nobody's going to be on the hash. I'm just going to be right there in the corner. And it's obviously going to give me the best chance at hitting my shot. So with that being said, you know, just make sure that you're picking and taking good shots. You're not forcing bad shots. You're not shooting contested. And if you are going to shoot shots that are slightly contested, you know what I'm saying, make sure that, you know, they're at least in your favorite spots or your hot spots and stuff like that, giving you your best chance to, you know, make the shot. So right now I'm just going to quickly show you guys, you know, my spots or whatever like that. So that's NBA, that's Park. Whoa, I got some cold spots there, damn. But mostly in the paint where, you know, Giant Slayer and shit don't really be working sometimes, and you know, you get blocked trying to dunk on people or you miss, you know, something like that. But you can see even in Park, like I'm shooting, you know, decently. But of course, you know, like I said, that wing, I like to shoot those shots from the wing and stuff like that. But I don't really have that many Park games played, so I'm not surprised to see, like, you know, a very, you know, disparse like shot chart or whatever for Park. But I don't see rec. I'm guessing Pro-Am is rec, so we're just gonna have to go based on Pro-Am. And as you can see, I have way more games played in Pro-Am, and as you can see, I have way more shots taken in Pro-Am. And just based on my shot chart, you'll see, like I said, that I primarily like to shoot, you know, from the corners. And then, of course, on fast breaks, you can see by my shot chart, I like to go to corners on the fast breaks. As you can see, I've taken 83 shots in the left and 104 on the right corner threes. And then on the wings, I've taken 28 threes and then 38 threes. You know what I'm saying? And then at the top of the key, I'm shocked that I'm shooting 75% because I really don't like that top of the key three. When I shoot from there at that angle with the 2K camera, it kind of obstructs my view of my release. I can't really see my release like I can on the wing and in the corners. So I don't really typically shoot that shot, which is why you see I only have really 12 attempts. But yeah, like I said, it's about getting to your spots and finding your spots where you like to shoot. Like I said, I like to shoot from that wing and those corners. You're going to notice that I'm able to get those shots off. I'm able to make sure that I get my shot that I want because that's where I feel most comfortable shooting, you know, as well as going down in the paint and dunking and stuff like that as well too. But primarily being a shooter, you're going to want to be able to get to your spots and find your spots, you know. Now, moving on to our last and final part of this shooting guide, you know, is badges. You know, this is what's going to bring your build all together. Now, badges are important. Badges can make a bad shooter decent. It can turn a decent shooter into a good shooter, and it can make a good shooter into a great shooter. You know what I'm saying? Badges are key. You know, you can still knock down shots. Don't get me wrong. You can still knock down shots and probably shoot about 45%, maybe even 47, 48% from three with no badges. But to really up your game and really become a knockdown shooter, you're going to want to make sure you have the right badges on so you can shoot. And of course, you want to make sure that you're using the right badges for the right play style that you're playing. If you're going to be the primary ball handler, which I'm not on this build because I'm on my 3-level scorer, as you can see, this build doesn't have high ball handling. I have an 81 ball handle, 82 with the sleeve. I'm not going to really be ball handling like that because, as you can see, I only have silver unpluckable on this build, so I'm going to be getting ripped if I'm running around trying to dribble around people. I could ISO here and there, But you know, 2 to 3 dribble moves, anything more than three dribble moves, and I'm passing the ball because I don't want to get ripped. And if I dribble more than 3 times, you know, do more than 3 moves, 9 times out of 10 I'm gonna get stripped because that's just how this game works. Steals are overpowered, glove is overpowered, and there's nothing you can do. Whether you have silver unpluckable or gold unpluckable, it's just how it's gonna go. You know what I'm saying? So. With that being said, I don't really try to do too much dribbling. I try to limit myself to catch and shoot shots. So that's going to be my playstyle, and that's the badge setup that I'm running right here for a catch and shoot playstyle. Now, if you are going to be, you know, primary ball handler, you're going to be shooting a lot of, you know, off dribble shots and stuff like that. Your badge layout might look a little different. For gold badges, I'm running gold blinders. I'm running gold agent 3, and I'm running gold volume shooter. For silver badges, I'm running catch and shoot, comeback kid, green machine, limitless range, and space creator. And then for my bronze badges, I'm running bronze deadeye, claymore, amped, and midi magician, just as a little bonus because I do have a 76 mid range right now, even though it goes up to an 87. I'm rocking a 76 right now because that shit is expensive as hell. You see that? They want me to drop 49,000 VC. As you can see, I only got 1,000 VC because I put it into one of my other builds. I had about 40K saved up. But they want me to drop 49,000 just to go from a 76 to an 87 mid-range. There's no way in hell I'm doing that. So your boy's rocking out with a 76 mid-range. And I'm going to be rocking that bronze midi magician, which will boost my, you know, mid-range a little bit. Especially when I'm shooting those moving shots or, you know, lean-in, step-backs and stuff like that. So this is a badge layout that's more so for, you know, catch and shoot situations. You know, you have your catch and shoot on silver. You know, you have your green machine and volume shooter to help boost your shots when you're shooting an influx of shots. I have bronze claymore to help when I'm just spotting up and stuff like that. Bronze amp just in case, you know, it's a little, you know, negate the little penalty if I am tired and I'm shooting, you know, while blinking or anything like that. I also have gold blinders, you know, to help with contests and stuff like that from the peripheral. Somebody's behind me, fast break and stuff like that. Bronze deadeye again for the contest percentage to help. Silver limitless range, obviously, so I can space the floor. And then, of course, Space Creator. Now, Space Creator, I mostly use this. I keep this on silver just as a little insurance policy if I do end up with an AI because I do play a shit ton of rec. All I really do is play rec, you know what I'm saying? And Pro-Am when I do have my team on and stuff like that. And usually, if I get an AI, I will just do step back and just green on the AI. And Space Creator is going to really help you with doing that because it's going to help you increase your chance to knock down shots after creating space, usually with the step back move. So, you know, Space Creator is going to help you with cheesing the AI. If you do have an AI, you need to cheese. And then another really important badge that I do run because I do play with randoms is Comeback Kid. And it's going to boost your ability to knock down mid-range and three-point shots when trailing in the game. You have to be trailing by at least 7 points, and it'll work at any point in time. So that's why this badge is really, really good. I was running it on bronze, but I've been running it on silver just because the randoms in this game is just terrible, and they will sell you. So if you play solo dolo like me, whether you're playing solo dolo in the no squads, the 3v3 mode, bridge, whether you're playing solo dolo in rec, or if you're just going into regular park playing solo dolo with just whoever's on the spot, you definitely want to have this badge because a lot of times you are going to find yourself down in games, and that boost will help you bring it back. You know what I'm saying? So there you have it. This is my badge layout for this build. Of course, depending on your build and, like I said, your playstyle, your badge setup might change. On my two-way stretch, my badge layout looks a little bit different. On my two-way 3-level 0.4, my badge layout looks a little bit more different than this as well too. So it really depends on your build and how your play style for that build. So yeah, that brings us to the end of our guide. Hopefully you can use these tips and tricks and advice to just boost your 3-point percentage through the roof and become a knockdown deadly ass shooter in NBA 2K23. Hopefully you guys, you know, are able to become better shooters by using this guide and taking some of my words for advice. And if you do become a better shooter, then, you know, and this helped you, you know, with, you know, being better shooter, picking better shots and stuff like that, picking better badges, you know, please feel free to drop a comment on the video and be sure to drop a like as well. likes and comments help us get into the algorithm, helps the channel grow, helps more people to see the video so it can get out to more people, so we have better teammates in the rec. You know what I'm saying? Because if you play rec, then you know how bad the randoms are. I want everybody to be shooting 50 and 60 and 70% from 3, so I don't have to worry about chucking or having to, you know, play hero ball and drop 40 every game just so that I could, you know, win a damn rec game. You know what I'm saying? So it's been your boy Make America Lit. Please be sure to drop a like, comment, and subscribe for more NBA 2K23 content. I'm out. Peace.